Dear friends, welcome to the channel The Eastern Front. Today we will talk about an interesting topic, the Winter Parade in 1941 in Moscow. Why Stalin decided to organize it and why during Stalin's speech doesn't appear steam coming out which all normal people have when they speak in winter time. Newsreels of the famous parade on 7 November 1941 on the Red Square began to be shown in all cinemas and movie theaters. Immediately after this event, attentive viewers noticed in the frosty air all participants have steam coming out of their mouth. But Comrade Stalin, who is making a speech, doesn't. But at that time it was better to keep such observation to yourself and not express them out loud. But after the war an explanation for this unusual phenomenon was found. Soviet cinematographers explained in their memoir what was the matter. The parade was of great importance for the morale of the whole country. The beginning of November 1941 is the most critical time of the war, the peak of Hitler's offensive on Moscow. The Wehrmacht is already half a step away from her. Many rationally thinking people believe that it's impossible to keep the capital. Archives are being burned in the city. State institutions and enterprises are being evacuated. A rumor is already floating in a low voice that Stalin also left Moscow, although he didn't do it and was not even going to. In this tense situation, Stalin unexpectedly, even for his inner circle, decided to hold a parade of Soviet troops on the Red Square in honor of the next anniversary of the revolution and take part in it personally, thus to give a clear answer to all questions and provocations. It was a dangerous decision. Moscow was in the range of German bombers who were trying to break through the air defense and hit the parade, turning an ideologically important event into a massacre. Literally, on November 5th, an armada of 250 Junkers bombed Moscow, and several bombs exploded in the immediate vicinity of the Kremlin. Therefore, information about the parade was kept secret until the last. For the first time, it was officially announced only late in the evening on 6 November. At the same time, the time of the parade was scheduled for 10 o'clock in the morning. When late in the evening on November 6th, the Kremlin called Mosfilm with the instructions to shoot a newsreel of the parade, the studio fell into a stupor. All the film crews are in the military. The material base of the Mosfilm has been evacuated. Who and what will film the parade on the Red Square? They were looking for a solution at night. In one place they found a film, in another and a third a couple of normal movie cameras. Somehow they figured it out. But there was another problem, the start time of the parade. The fact that the start postponed from 10 o'clock to 8 in the morning. The filmmakers were warned just 20 minutes before the event. In the confusion, they were late for the start of the parade and film it in pursuit. I drive, squeezing the gas to the limit. I'm making a detour through the Crimean Bridge. They didn't let me through Kamenny. Through the fog and snowfall, the voice of the announcer and the sounds of the parade can already be heard. We leave the car near the Belinsky Passage, now Kremlin Passage, run with cameras like crazy. The infantry has already passed, but Sukhova managed to film the tail of the column. I'm shooting cavalry tanks, it's snowing in big flakes. Everyone has a feeling of joy that something very important, significant has happened. But the joy faded when it became clear the filmmakers were late for Stalin's speech. And no one filmed the leader's speech. And calls to Mosfilm from the political department and the NKVD began almost to the next day. Where's the newsreel? It's needed in the troops. It must be urgently sent by diplomatic mail abroad. There is a panic in the office of the director of Mosfilm. It's clear to everyone, it's impossible to issue a film without Stalin's speech. They didn't dare to report this for a long time. They were afraid to go to court for sabotage. After all, the situation is like this. Professionals, ideological workers who were instructed to shoot the most important event, they shoot everything except the most key moment. But there is nothing to do, they reported. Stalin was offered to make a mock-up of the mausoleum rostrum right next to his office in the Kremlin and shoot a speech on this mock-up. The leader was unhappy. What? I don't have anything else to do to act in the movie? But he agreed. The layout was built quickly, but they waited for Stalin for 6 hours. He appeared on the set already in the dead of night, silently threw on his overcoat and delivered his speech to 3 cameras. When the leader was already walking to the exit, everyone broke out into a cold sweat. It turned out that someone accidentally caught the audio cable. Therefore, the picture passed, but the sound didn't. Stalin was timidly asked to speak to the cameras again. The leader looked angrily at the cinematographers, but again obediently put on his overcoat, ascended the mausoleum and repeated his speech. That's why he didn't have steam from his mouth. And several Mosfilm members, according to Troyanovsky, had to be taken to the hospital after the shooting. Convulsions on the nervous basis began. The speech, by the way, was worth going down in history. Dear friends, that's all for today. It was Tim and the Eastern Front channel. I wish you peace and health. See you.